topic of discussion is on glimpses of India. About the author. This story is written by Lucio Rodker. His time period was from 1916 to 1973. He was a great Konkani essayist. He wrote several articles in English and Konkani to various periodicals and magazines. He served as the visiting professor of folklore at many universities and also as a professor of English in Mumbai and Goa. His essays were published under the title of Soil and Soul and Konkani Folktales. Subtle humor and informal narrations are the essential features of his writings. Part 1. A Baker in Goa. Theme. The writer presents a pen portrait of a traditional Goan village baker who still has an important place in the society. Elders still think fondly of the famous Portuguese loaves of bread. The family tradition is still carried on even today by the new generation of bakers in Goa. Even today, marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread or the bowl, just as a party or fest loses its charm without the Goan bread. Summary. Goa is very much influenced by the Portuguese. The influence of their tradition can be seen in their works. The Portuguese are famous for preparing the loaves of bread. We can come across the makers of bread in Goa. The furnaces used for baking the bread still exist there. It is a traditionally family work, and these bakers are known as Peder in Goa. Here, in this story, the writer talks about his childhood days in Goa, when the bakers used to be his friends. He used to visit their house twice a day. In the morning, his jingling sound of bamboo woke them up from sleep. They all ran to meet him. The loaves were purchased by the maidservant of the house, but they always ran to get bread bangles. Sometimes the baker had special sweet bread. His entry created the jhang jhang sound from the bamboo. With one hand, the baker supported the basket on his head and the other hand banged the bamboo on the ground. After greeting the lady of the house by saying good morning, the baker would place his basket. He had loaves of the elders and the bangles for the children. There used to come a typical fragrance from the loaves. The villagers were much fond of the sweet bread known as bol. Marriage gifts were meaningless without it. So the baker's furnaces is the essential item in the village. The lady of the house prepared sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Cake and bohirans, that is the traditional coconut cookies, were essential part on various occasions like Christmas and other festivals. In those days, the bread seller wore a particular dress known as kabi. It was a simple piece, long frock up to the knees. Even today, they can be seen wearing a half pant that reaches just below the knees. People usually comment that he is dressed like a peder. The baker would collect his bill at the end of the month. They recorded their accounts on the wall with pencil. Baking was a profitable profession in old days. The baker and his family never starved and they looked happy and prosperous. The author humorously remarks that even now everyone with a healthy appearance is still compared as a baker. Important questions. Question 1. What are the elders in Goa nostalgic about? The narrator often finds his elders thinking about those good old days and telling them about the famous breads that date back to the time when Portuguese ruled over Goa. They ponder over the past and tell them that though the Portuguese have left Goa, but the baker still exists. If not the original ones, their legacy is being continued by their sons. Question 2. Is baking still popular in Goa? How do you know? Yes, bread making is still popular in the city of Goa. It is evident from the existence of the time tested furnaces, mixtures, and molders. The legacy of baker is being continued by their sons. You will find a bakery in every Goan village as bread is an important part of the Goan culture. Question 3. What is the baker called? the baker is referred to as a paida in the city of Goa? Question 4. When would the baker come every day? Why did the children run to meet him? The baker would come twice every day during the narrator's childhood days, once in the morning to deliver the loaves of bread, and secondly in the evening on his return after selling his stock. The children would go running to him to take the special bread bangles he had made for them. Question 5. Who invites the comment, he is dressed like a paida? Why? During the narrator's childhood days, the bakers had a particular dress. They wore shirts and shorter than usual pants. Thus, if someone is seen wearing pants of this much length, they invite the comment, he is dressed like a paida. Question 6. Where were the monthly accounts of the bakers recorded? The monthly accounts of the baker were recorded on some of the walls with a pencil. What does a jackfruit like appearance means? A jackfruit like appearance means a well built or a plump physique similar to a jackfruit in those days. Baker had a plump physique because baking was a profitable profession. His family and servants never starved and were prosperous.